Hey everyone, I'm so excited to sit down with Amye Archer from Little Miss Recap and discuss Welcome to Plathville Season 6. I hope you enjoy this discussion. Hello, 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 Amye Archer, Little Miss
Hello, Sarah.
Recap in the house.
Woo, 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 woo.
I'm so excited to talk Welcome to Plathville with you.
Oh, yes.
Okay. This is going to be kind of a high level kind of overview of the whole season. I
Mhm.
didn't get into the nitty gritty of each episode, but if you
Yeah.
guys are looking for breakdowns of each episode, Amye on Little Miss Recap, she has you covered. So check her out. We will leave links in the description to all
Thank
of
you.
that. And your recaps are amazing.
Thank you. It's one of my favorite shows.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts, feelings, emotions about season 6?
So I'm glad we had it. I think we needed closure. I think we
Yeah.
needed to see where Olivia and Ethan went. I'm living for seeing Barry and Kim destroy each other on a daily basis, living for it. But I don't think we needed a season 7.
Yeah. So, it's funny. I thought probably 2 or 3 seasons ago that everyone's
It
moving
ended.
out. What are we really going to do?
Yeah.
Mike, or I get all the kids mixed up. Mike is in LA. Like
Mhm.
Ethan and Olivia went to Minnesota. Like, what are we really going to do? How are we going to do this? But then they started following all of them. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, let's go. I'm here for it. But then so my feelings is first of all, sorry, I'm like stepping over my words. The most emotional part of a piece of reality TV that I can recall in recent memory is this meeting between Ethan and Olivia at the beginning of season 6, where they're
Oh, yeah.
discussing the like logistics of their divorce,
Mhm.
and Olivia's needing to move her stuff out. I got like, I was like, this is really sad.
I know, and I have such a problem with Ethan because I was such an Ethan stan. Like,
Yeah.
I loved him so much. Like, his obsession with the old cars and stuff, that's
Yeah.
so similar to my husband, and I just love that part of him, and I just always felt like he was a really good complement to Olivia. Then
Uh-huh.
we started to learn some of the things that were on that list.
Yeah, and then like this whole
Ugh.
season with him kind of rethinking how terrible Kim is because now
Mhm,
he's no longer
mhm.
with Olivia. I'm like, you guys have such like goldfish brain.
Yep,
Like
yep.
what Kim is awful. And I was like, I never want, and we will go over it because I feel like we have forgotten just how far we've come in just 6 seasons. Like it's taken the
Yeah.
Brown 19 seasons to fall apart.
And we're here for
Or
every minute of that.
maybe 16 or 17 seasons. But yeah,
Yeah.
like the Plaths have accomplished quite a bit in a short
Mhm,
period of
mhm.
time.
Well, Kim
They're
is the one who sold the show, who wanted it to be about her neat, nice little family band. I don't think she ever anticipated Olivia waking up and deconstructing the world around her and what that would mean for
yes.
the Plaths.
Yeah, like lest we forget when we first meet these kids, they're no sugar, no technology. Mariah got kicked out. Kim and Bear, well, Kim
Mariah
was,
got kicked out for wearing a skirt,
yeah,
essentially.
Lydia has a prayer closet.
with
And
pictures of Ethan and Olivia all over it. That's not weird.
right. And we'll talk about kind of Micah's choice in life partner because it's like I'm sensing that you all marry your mother. So
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh,
yeah.
yes. Yep.
But and then Lydia deemed the only one who was allowed to have like computer passwords and such. She gets a cell phone and then Kim reads all her text messages.
Yeah.
This woman is diabolical.
She
Not a
really
good mom.
is. No.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and tell me if you agree with this, she doesn't know her kids. Like there's
No.
always, and Barry's the same way. They just don't know, even now when they're quote unquote on their redemption tour trying to be good parents, they just don't know how to talk to their kids. It's so awkward. And
Yeah,
I don't know what is happening.
like we get Ethan kind of talking about like possibly having some severe mental health
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah.
And Barry's like, no, you don't like rub some dirt on it or whatever.
Depression is a visitor.
Right.
Oh, God, I hate him.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Depression is a visitor. So, in other words, yeah, like just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. I can't even tell you, Sarah, what I would do if my child was sitting there singing a song about like not wanting to live anymore.
Yeah.
I'd be like, maybe we need to talk, first of all, us, and then maybe go to therapy.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And because as we know, like Ethan, what has been, perceived as kind of his quirks and just his nature of like he deals with things by working on cars. But like there was this other piece to it where because he was doing that, he was completely ignoring Olivia. My husband, because he will like catch bits and pieces of Welcome to Plathville when I'm watching it. He's like, oh, is this the guy that like his wife had to ask him to call her when he like went on a road trip? And it's like, yeah. How do you have to ask your spouse to like check in with you? This is when they were like still trying to work on their marriage.
And Micah is the same way.
Yes.
So I think that this is just something in them that they just don't have a good role model for a marriage. Like they just don't understand how that works.
Yeah. And, there were so many times during the season where I'm like, ugh, Barry grosses me out. Like he, like, no wonder Kim left him type of thing. And then the entire finale, I'm like, Kim is maybe worse. I found my Ken. I hope he finds his Barbie.
Right. And then if you notice, Ethan says to her, like, he's real down and he's like, in his Johnny Cash voice, like, oh, I don't know if I'll ever find another one I love like her. And instead of saying, honey, yes, you will. Like, I found love again. You'll find love again. She has to use it as a way to insult Olivia. Well, if you just had somebody who didn't treat you like shit, like she constantly just has to make it about Olivia. Like, just make it about Ethan for 2 seconds. Not about you, not about Olivia. Just make it about Ethan.
Yes. And I was like cringing and recoiling during so many of her interactions with her kids, because you're totally right. She doesn't know her kids. The way she tries to relate to them is to try to be Amy Poehler in Mean Girls. Like, I'm not a regular mom. I wear short skirts now. I play space. Like, let's go have a margarita. Have a margarita, ma'am. You got a DUI, and for some reason we are not talking about that. If I got a DUI and I didn't have a drinking problem, I certainly wouldn't be on a show suggesting going out for drinks.
Right. Especially if you espouse to be so perfect and moral, right? That's the rub of it. Like DUIs happen to people, fine, whatever. But it's like you're not on TV saying like everyone is evil who drinks and everyone is, and then you're doing it behind the scenes and not talking about it because we can hear everyone else's dirty laundry on the screen, but not hers.
Right. How are you able to skirt that? Like, are we that desperate? I could see,
whenever you say skirt, I'm traumatized by the image of her in that skirt.
I can see how like someone like Cody can probably throw his weight around a little bit and say, I'm not going to talk about X, Y, and Z because obviously this is an established show and it has like, they want to kowtow a little bit to them. But with the Plaths, it's like, first of all, like we watch the show, but like this isn't Real Housewives or something. Like, how big is this show?
I actually heard it's pretty big.
Oh, is
which
it?
is amazing to me.
Well,
Yes.
I'm actually really glad to hear that. That indicates to me that there probably will be a season 7.
I don't know. I was trying to think of where they could go. Like maybe we could have the storyline of Mariah with this guy. First of all, let's talk about Mariah for a second.
Oh
I
gosh.
am really worried about her.
Little Girl Lost is like,
Yes, yes.
and
Like I just worry about her. She feels things so intensely. I was the same way, and I'm telling you 100%, I would have like shunned my entire family had they not liked a guy and like just went down the wrong path. And I'm afraid that's what she'll do. And Barry and Kim are actually doing the right thing by like not pushing her away and letting this guy be heard. I was like stunned. I don't know. Maybe the producers like whispered something in their ears.
yeah, maybe they were like, we
Mhm.
need this for content. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
don't do what you want to do. Like,
yeah,
do this instead.
yeah.
But yeah, no, seeing that she's having physical reactions to stress,
I know.
um, you know, it's really sad the way she deals with, I mean, and I have to keep in mind, she's what, 21, 22 -ish?
Yeah, she's
Like
young. Yeah.
she's in her very early 20s. Freaking Isaac in the finale. Oh, I just love women a little too much. I love their moms, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah. Isaac is he's turned into quite the handful. So maybe we'll have a storyline with him. I mean, he did bring Ken into our lives.
Okay, and then that was another example of Kim's inappropriateness with her kids because she, like last season, suggested that she and Isaac double date, and it's
I
like,
know.
no, thank you. Like,
And remember the scene, I think I was on here talking with you about it. Remember the scene where Ethan finally goes to talk to Kim after all this time and she's like, "Okay, do you want to go see Ken?" It's like, "No, we don't want to go see Ken."
right.
Nobody does. Stop trying to make Ken happen.
Yeah, she brings Ken to this family concert.
And he's like,
First of all,
Mhm.
talk about like who would have thought that you could actually downgrade from Barry? Like, my goodness. She is making okay, so Barry
That's a
starts
good
working
point.
out. He's in his zaddy era. His personality is still the same, but I much prefer him to
Ah,
Ken. I don't even
I
understand.
I don't know what I've done in my life, Sarah, to be at the point where I have to choose between Barry and Ken.
Right.
Who have I wronged? Who have I wronged?
It's a real Sophie's choice. Yeah, it was I was like, so she brings him and then she's like, I just what did she say? Like, I know Ken and Barry just want to fight over me. It's
Oh,
like,
I can't wait to see who punches who first. This is a kink for her.
yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep. Mama
What
Plath
we
never had people fighting over her before, and now she wants it.
right. What
Mhm.
we might see in a season 7 are more surprise parties. There was a surprise party every other episode this season. We had
Okay.
Lydia, Mariah, Ethan. Like these.
Okay, so what constitutes a surprise party? Because I feel like at this point, it's just that there's a cake there. That's
Yeah,
it.
or I mean, because so Ethan's and Lydia's were for their birthdays, right?
Mhm,
Mariah's was
mhm.
like a "we're proud of you."
Surprise elations.
Yeah, yeah, like we're good job at, being you type
Yes,
of thing.
yes.
Which is actually, I think, probably Mariah needed that
Yeah, well,
valid.
remember, they grew up without birthday parties. They weren't allowed to celebrate birthdays.
And see, this is the thing, like Kim, your morals, your convictions were built on quicksand. If you are backflipping, because even Cody, who has like,
I love how Cody's the standard of everything that's terrible.
yeah,
Even Cody.
Cody, yeah, no, but for Cody not being so religious anymore, we know he drinks
Mhm.
alcohol and he doesn't espouse to believe the things he said he did at first, but he's not done this complete like just 180 of
Yeah.
what he's willing to endorse as far as behavior or what he's willing to participate in with his family. It's just so bizarre to me that Kim
It
is
is bizarre. And it's it goes beyond like just I'm going to raise my kids this way. It's a moral superiority, right? It's like I'm raising my kids in a better way than you are. You
Right.
heathens out there playing Nintendo and eating pixie sticks.
Yeah.
And then to watch her just one day be like, I'm bored with that. I'm going to go drink and bang Ken in his shelter house and wear a short skirt. And all these kids are traumatized from this. They're all emotionally stunted. They have no idea how to go out into the world.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess
I
this is what we're
actually just
doing.
thought of, I didn't even have it in my notes, but that scene where the littler girl, who aren't even little girls anymore. It's like,
I know.
again, with Cody and Robin calling their youngest kids like the tenders. It's like, at what point do your kids cease to be toddlers just because they're the
I mean,
youngest?
Aurora is still not an adult. So
Yeah, that's
you know how
true.
that goes.
But so Kim takes the three youngest girls to, what was it, like a karate class or something?
Yes. Yeah.
And Micah,
Taekwondo.
yeah, and Micah
Mhm.
comes by and he's like, "Oh man, this is awesome, but like
Yeah.
we never had anything like this. Like she would have never like taken her time to do something like this." And I'm like, "Damn, that's so sad."
Yeah.
Like, that's so sad.
And it's a situation where and I've seen this happen in larger families before, but like the earlier kids have a different experience.
Mhm.
And that builds resentment between siblings. Hopefully that doesn't happen here because I feel like these little girls really need all of their siblings around them as much as possible because I think their mother pieced out. But
Yeah.
they're going to have a very different childhood than Micah, Mariah, Ethan, and Hosanna and the Highest had, and Lydia.
Praise her holy name.
Praise her. Praise her.
Yeah, and even in this the finale episode, Kim is talking about Isaac not doing his schoolwork. So I'm glad to see nothing has changed there. Kim is still not schooling these
But
kids.
is Kim like, is she schooling from 200 miles away now? Like, how is this working?
Yeah. Can we put these kids in public school then? Like,
oh God, do you think they have the IBLP booklets like that teach you that like
oh, I'm sure, because
man was on Earth 250 years ago and invented the Constitution when they were made?
No, I'm pretty sure they might not actually use that curriculum, but they use something very similar. Hosanna is married to a fundy person that is very Duggar adjacent.
Timothy Noble?
I thought she was married to one of the Rodriguez.
No, she's married to Timothy Noble, who's in that clan with the
Oh,
Rodriguezes.
okay, okay.
They're like either her best friend is a Rodriguez or they're connected. Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah, but like definitely like IBLP, like fundy circle. The Plaths are very adjacent to that. So I wouldn't be surprised if their homeschool curriculum was. Remember when Kim tried to tell us she was like a homeopathic doctor or something?
Oh God, no, I forgot about that. All I know is they have all these weird appliances around the house to like funnel out chemicals from water and stuff like that. Like it's weird. I don't know what's happening over there.
It's
we know we hear their grammar. I mean, I admit I'm a little crazy about it because I was an English teacher. Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, just basic stuff. Like they say, me and Micah went to the store. Like it's just me and whoever. Like it's just their grammar isn't that great. And I'm like, who taught you that? Oh, Kim did. Right.
And yeah, no, but we heard, what was it, like it wasn't last season. I think it was the season before. Whatever the season was where Ethan almost fought Barry, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so here for this.
That was kind of hot.
When like Kim was talking about, because Mariah was like, yeah, like we kind of didn't have schooling and that sucked. And she was like, well, I tried. I gave you guys books, but Ethan just always wanted to tinker on his cars. And
so I gave 15-year-olds, I have two 17-year-olds. I could give them all the books I want. They're not going to open them and do the work.
Right.
Like I literally have to sit there and say, okay, apply to college now with me watching. And that is a decision that affects their future, not mine.
Right. But because that is the way of being a child.
Yes, they're not going to do homework voluntarily. Right.
You don't go, oh, hey, like, guess they didn't do their homework. Guess they won't be schooled. Guess they won't be literate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the sad part is, Sarah, like Ethan is so smart. Like
Mhm.
he's so mechanically inclined. He really could have, with the proper schooling. And I'm not saying that he had to go to college. College is not for everyone. But he
Right.
could have gotten a high school diploma and he could have like went into the skilled trades. You know what I mean? And had a great career.
And
He
there's
just
such a
can't even do that.
I know there's such a social aspect to school too. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, I will criticize the Plaths and then eventually, inevitably, I will get some comments saying like, you shouldn't bash homeschooling. And it's like, I'm not trying to bash homeschooling.
Homeschooling when done right is fine. When
Right.
it's done right.
But this
It's not homeschooling.
This is educational neglect is what this is.
Yes.
But like one of the great things about going to school, and it's not for everyone, so I'm not saying that everyone should do
Sure.
it, but there is where you learn how to be part of a group. And
Yes.
Ethan, I feel like Ethan struggles with some social interactions because I feel like he was allowed to just isolate himself.
Yeah.
And I would prefer to work on my cards. Well, my daughter would prefer to be on her iPad 29 hours a day. But
Yeah.
like, no, that's like not what we're
Yeah.
gonna do.
And remember, Ethan's like best friend was that older man who owned the garage. Remember?
That's right. I know. It's so
He didn't have a little bro pack to run with. It's
no.
really sad. And homeschooling has come a long way. Let's
Mhm.
not forget, like Ethan was being homeschooled 20 years ago.
True.
So like it's much better now. I think, especially since the pandemic, they've worked so you can now
Like,
connect in social groups in a way that you
yeah.
couldn't do it before. But these
Mhm.
kids didn't have any of that.
No.
Maybe the
And
younger ones, but
yeah, they're actually certain like community colleges will have like homeschool like meetups and stuff and
yeah,
stuff where you can do all together like a
Mhm.
science lab. You can do it with
Yeah,
like a bunch of other kids. Yeah.
which
So
is
it's
great. Which is
yeah,
great. Yeah.
that's really cool. So it's like if you find value in first of all, I am not a teacher. I do not have that. I would be Kim Plath. Like, oh, you don't want to do your schoolwork? Well, I
I
don't want
am a
to.
teacher, and I would still be Kim Plath because
Yeah,
I would have zero patience for homeschooling.
I literally,
Mhm.
my kids in school, I'm like, take all of my money. You guys are the true heroes. When
Yep.
my son had pink eye last week and then school was closed, he had pink eye and had to stay home on Wednesday. On Thursday, school was closed because of the storm. And I was like, oh my God, I could
I
lose
know.
my life.
I know. I know.
Oh my
Believe
God.
me, I know. I used to say all the time, like, what are people doing during the summers? Because it was just a
Yeah,
long, never-ending nightmare.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, back in the day, we got set off on our own by like 12, 13. Like we were
Yeah.
able to, and I think that's like kind of frowned upon nowadays.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And what trouble would the Platts get into? Like, what are they gonna do? What is Lydia gonna say? Like, darn,
Oh my gosh.
you know?
What is up with Lydia?
I would trust Lydia with the nuclear codes. Like, she is
Yeah.
just never gonna do something wrong.
No, and if I am Lydia, because Lydia, I think is the most, I mean, as we don't know Hosanna. So, but like of
Mhm.
the ones we see on the show, she is the most religious, I think.
Oh
And
yeah.
if I'm her, and I literally used to like spend my time in a closet
Mhm.
praying, I'm
Mhm.
pissed. I'm pissed.
You're pissed that Kim drove you into the prayer closet?
That I was, first of all, also, Lydia was the most parentified.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Again,
because Mariah was can I curse on here?
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
because Mariah was the fuck up, right? So Lydia
Right.
had to come in and do all the dishes and cook dinner because Mariah's out wearing eyeliner and skirts and she can't be trusted with anything.
Yeah.
Like Mariah was essentially kind of what they used to do in McKelty. Like Mariah was slut shamed for the way she dressed and the way
And
she wanted to
maybe,
express herself.
yeah, maybe if Kim was a little cooler back then, maybe Mariah wouldn't have tattooed rebel
I
all on
know.
her.
I know
Maybe
if this
she's on
kid is
something
not
else.
if this kid is not screaming to express herself, I don't know what that looks like then, because it's all over her body, literally.
Yeah, I think I'm the most concerned about Mariah because she's clearly she and we saw this with Max. We never saw this like devil in a suit and tie guy. We never
Ugh.
saw him on the
How
show.
great would it have been? I thought, okay, because we
Mhm.
know that the big secret was that the guy has a kid with somebody else. I thought it was going to be a big reveal at the end that the guy was Max. I was going to be like, ah!
Well, it's she clearly becomes like everything is her relationship. She's that
Yeah.
type of
Yep.
person.
Yep.
And
So was I.
I was gonna say I definitely
Mhm.
went through a period of my life where that was me as well. So
I was playing the guitar, writing poetry, doing all the things.
I'm not judging her for that, but I at least am happy that she does have her family around her, even if it's Kim and Barry.
I guess. I mean, she's real into Barry, which makes me question everything.
Yeah, because I mean, and maybe I listened to too much Ace and Caitlin, but like the whole like being, being the
Mhm.
wife stand-in essentially,
Mhm.
and that
Mhm. That's
is
Lydia.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's Lydia. And then
Yep.
Lydia, didn't she say, "Oh, Mariah, I'm so glad you moved home so that someone will be here with Barry." Like as if it was
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
responsibility to
Yeah.
find a babysitter for her dad.
Yep. Yep. And
Oh,
Barry is just pumping iron at the gym. I mean, he is jacked.
yeah, we are substituting stuff for
Mhm. Mhm. Yep.
for sure.
Oh, he hates Kim. He hates her with the fire of a thousand suns. I always say on my show, these two in the 80s, we had that famous scene where the couple were in court dividing their beanie babies up. That's these two. They are petty motherfuckers. They are
They
going to
really
fight over every last dime. And
Yeah.
Kim thinks she deserves 51%, and Barry thinks she deserves 49%, and they're going to fight over that forever.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? I don't feel bad for either one of them. I
No,
think they
me
both
either.
yeah, you both you deserve each other. You deserve to torment each other. I hope Robin files for divorce one day from Cody and
Oh,
really
stop.
drags him through it because that would be
I'm going to slide right off my chair. I can't even. Can't even. Oh, God. What would we do? I would just be like a loop in that courtroom. We would have to get Ace and Caitlin inside that courtroom somehow to live feed everything through their divorce proceedings.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I'm
100%.
not going to get on a plane and do it, but they might do it.
No, I'm way too far away for that, but they are much more local. We could get some boots on the ground. What?
And the Platts too, like they have a lot of money. The Platts have a lot of money.
That's true. They have so much property.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yep.
had all that stuff even prior to the show.
Yep.
That
Yep.
because didn't Barry move into one of their rental properties?
And it was nice.
It was
And they
nice.
still have the farm. And they
Mhm.
still have that house. And Cairo, I mean, it's a very low cost of living. Like, even in my area, I'm outside of Scranton, about 20 minutes outside of Scranton. You could get a bomber house for like $300,000, which I know to the rest of the country sounds wild. But like
Mhm.
Cairo, Georgia, similar. So, like, they're not spending a ton of money on these beautiful houses, but they have a lot of them. And
Mhm.
Barry, I think, made good money. Wasn't he like a civil engineer?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, in Tampa, like no, Tallahassee, in a bigger
Yeah.
city, so
Actually, I was just thinking, I hope I hope all the plots are okay. I
I
think
was
they're
wondering if Kim's boat, in Crawfordsville, the Pancake House closed, which was huge.
right. That's what they say
The
here.
Waffle House, I mean, the
If
Waffle House.
Waffle
Yeah,
House closes,
yeah, yeah.
it's serious.
We have a Pancake House here too, so I get
Yeah.
confused. The Waffle House closed. So where's her boat? I don't know.
And that boat was hanging on for dear life in the best weather. So
Yes.
that would not have survived a
Yes.
rainstorm.
Yeah,
So,
maybe she was just sleeping in there and it just got tossed. I don't know. I don't know
no.
where. I hope everybody's okay.
What did you think about these? They decided to do this weird thing with both Micah and Olivia, where they tell us they're in relationships, but then they kind of like it's mysterious, and the person, we don't see their face. We only see like hands
So
and
weird.
hair and stuff. It was so weird. And like Micah said, it was because Veronica didn't want to be on the show, but I never really understood why they did that with Brendan.
I know. I don't understand either. I think, to be honest, I think Olivia's done. Like, I think she needs to be done. I love Olivia. I'm an Olivia stan. Our
Yeah.
podcast loves her.
Yes.
But I think like her time on the show has come to an end.
I hope that she parlays this into, if she still wants to do reality TV, I hope she can parlay this into something else, like a different project.
Well, she talked about like wanting to, she's really into this deconstructionism of these cults that are, you know, not harming women, but aren't uplifting women. That's for sure.
No.
Like the one she's born into. So she has talked about doing more of that work. That would be great for her.
I think that would be great. I think she definitely has. I follow her. I think I follow her on Instagram. I'm pretty sure I do. And she has like a great social media presence, so she can definitely work that angle too. I don't think she needs the show necessarily. And I just wasn't really interested in her like dating. Certainly not Brendan, but sorry, Brendan.
Sorry, Brendan. You didn't light our world on fire. I mean, he seems perfectly nice, but I was like, okay.
Yeah. It wasn't anything thrilling. I will say there's a lot to unpack with this Veronica. And
my God. Now, I do have it on good authority that Veronica has seen the light on Kim Plath and has turned a corner.
Ooh, interesting. Because I was like, first of all, to invoke Ace and Caitlin, there was that entire episode where Ace was like big fan of Veronica, and like he was like, she could do no wrong.
Okay.
And then he ended up walking it back. But like, I always thought it was like really rude that she called Olivia a narcissist. I was like,
yeah. I mean, say what you want about Olivia. She's not a narcissist.
Olivia's pretty self-aware, and she usually, I think always pretty much owns up to like how she contributed to like a situation being toxic. Like she'll never put 100% of the blame on someone.
She does. And when Veronica was like, well, Barry and I bonded over having a mutual narcissist, we all assumed they were talking about Kim.
Yep.
But Olivia, I was like, oh, okay, Barry. Barry clearly doesn't know what the word narcissist means. He was married to one though, so.
Yeah. And wait, okay. So are any of these divorces final?
No. No.
All right.
Nope. Kim and Barry are going to fight down to the last Beanie Baby, whether that's Little Red Bear, Little Tie-Dye Bear, Grateful Dead Bear. I don't know.
They're going to be dividing like plates and
Ethan and Olivia, like last I heard, Ethan still is not filling out the financial stuff. I don't know what's going on there.
I heard, I don't know if this is true, so maybe you can verify this. I heard that like whatever they filled out at first was like incorrect.
Yeah, they had to redo it.
That's a bummer because it's like you get him to sign it and then it's wrong and it's like, no.
Olivia needs to go all Janelle and lawyer up. Although we don't know if Janelle ever did, but Christine did.
Eventually, like if someone's non-responsive, like they
just lawyer up
hostage, like they can just like declare it, right?
I think so. They need to do it through the court system. I don't know what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
but just do it. Like people think because they don't have a house together, because they don't have kids together, that it's an easy divorce, but it's not. Like they do have assets. They talked about that. I don't know if they have a house that they rent out. I don't know if it's the house in Tampa. I don't know if it's the house in Cairo, but they have an asset. They've talked about that.
Yeah. I love how in the finale, Ethan's like, oh, it's so nice to not like be on a mortgage anymore. Or like all this stuff. And I'm like, that's like actually sad though. Ethan, like you were a homeowner. Like, and now
everybody in this family, I have made this case. Their lives are not for the better since Olivia's gone.
No.
I mean, when Olivia was in Mariah's life, she was doing great. When she was in Micah's life, he was doing great. Ethan too. Now they're all like, freaking Micah is like in a hostage situation, installing fences in the heat in Central Florida.
Yeah.
What is going on there? And Mariah's like crying and running around with a terrible man. I don't know. They've fallen.
It's so interesting because, you know, Micah and Mariah were like so anti Olivia.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Veronica. I thought Veronica could have been Olivia. I was like, oh my God, they're going to reveal her face and it's going to be
How
Olivia.
great would that have been if Micah was with Olivia?
Yeah. But it's like, okay, there is some psychological unpacking that needs to happen because all of these Plath boys are marrying or dating Kim Plath 2.0s. Like,
it's Veronica is, I don't know what is going on there, but Micah is too young to be giving up his dream of modeling and living in LA and being where he is. Like, and he keeps saying, like, I gave up a lot for her, but it's fine. We're happy.
yeah,
Okay.
during the ring shopping where he's like, I'm buying this for you as a cocktail ring and we're gonna like she's like, okay, we're gonna go home and think about it. He's like, I will think about thinking about it or something like
He
that.
is not ready.
No.
And she's like, marry me, marry me, marry me, marry me.
Are they the same age or is she older?
She's 2 years older than him. So
Okay.
he's 23, she's 25.
Okay. Well, still, that's
It's
young.
I got married the first time when I was 23. It's too young.
My brother got married at 22. They're still married.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it works.
They're actually high school sweethearts,
Yeah.
and they're still married. But yeah, I got married at 30. Like, for some, the 25-year-old me in a marriage would have been a disaster.
25-year-old me in a marriage was a disaster. I got married the second time at 30, and that went much smoother.
Okay, so 30 is a good
30's the magic age. Yep.
You get, I say work your kinks out in your 20s and then so what if there is a season 7, what are we going to see? I do love though that clearly this family would never have like gotten together to do this concert had it not been for production. But clearly producers are like contriving situations for them to be together. I hope that they do stuff like that with the Browns. Like send them all on vacation.
Yes.
Like,
let's have a Brown family band. I mean, there's a million guitars in Cody's house. Let's pony up. Let's get going.
I mean, Cody just said that usually they're busting out the guitars and music on their family
what
night.
Songs are they playing?
I think like
church hymns.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say gospel. I think like real, like, I don't know, like real gnarly stuff. Like nothing that's like got a pep in it stuff. Like
they're playing like 90s country kind of like semi-religious kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Like a Travis Tritt. Yeah. They're doing that. They've just discovered Bonnie Raitt. They've just discovered her. So they're doing that.
I would be interested to see like Kim and Ethan, more interaction there, more of them like unpacking that. But it just seems like you were saying, since Olivia has exited the picture, they are just pinning all of their problems with Kim on Olivia. It was all Olivia.
Oh yeah.
And it's like,
Look, I am all about, like, maybe it's the softie in me, but I'm all about families coming back together. Like, I want that for the Brown family. I said that. I'm like, I would love to see this season of reunification, right? Of everybody coming back together. Cody leaves the manosphere and becomes the Cody we knew. I want that for the Platts. Like, I would love them to, but like, take some accountability. Some of it, like what I wouldn't give for Kim to have a scene with Ethan where she apologizes for the credit card stuff or talks about, like, you know what, Olivia and I butted heads, but I was the adult and I should have acted that way. And I'm really sorry. And but that'll never happen.
Right. Exactly. And you know, what else was interesting is we see these scenes of them like in that Airbnb
Yeah.
And the place is a mess because like Lydia, it's all on Lydia to be the housekeeper.
Sure.
Because
sure.
Kim never was a role model for these kids.
You know, Kim made that breakfast that day that Barry was staring at her and just finished it and walked away. And Lydia had to come in and do the dishes. She had to scrape the bacon grease into the garbage and do all the dishes.
Yeah, it's so unfair to Lydia. I feel so bad for her.
Yeah, Lydia needs to run off and escape to wherever Hosanna in the Highest is. Just go be under her shield in the IBLP, under the umbrella of protection.
Yeah. I mean, I guess anything is better than.
I mean, I don't want Lydia to go there, but like, I feel like she would probably thrive.
Yeah, because she's all into like touring and like like bearing witness and whatever, like trying to convert people. She's being a missionary or whatever. So like go off and do that. Oh my gosh, I would be so resentful towards Kim. It wouldn't even be funny if I was any of these kids.
I think too, like, we don't realize how religious some of these people still are. Because like they're not overt about it, but like if you look around their house, there's tons of the Jesus stuff. And I think that I don't know why they don't talk about that much anymore, but I think part of that is what's going on here is like you have to honor thy parents. You have to forget, you know what I mean? I think there's a big component of that. I think with Barry too. I think that's why he won't go to therapy. I think he's giving it all to God and whey protein. I don't know.
And what people like Barry don't realize is like God, in my opinion, God made therapists. So like God helps those who help themselves type of thing.
And God's busy. He is busy.
Don't stand on your roof in a flood and like tell God, like ignore the helicopter that comes to rescue you. God's gonna rescue. Like recognize your modern miracle.
Yes. God is busy. There's other things going on in the world.
Bigger fish to fry.
Yes, exactly. Yep. So I don't know. I just think Barry's like, he's just shoving it down. One day he's going to snap and he's just going to maybe, I don't know, throw Kim out a window or something. Who knows? Allegedly.
Yeah, it's funny how palpable their hatred for each other.
He hates her. I don't know. I don't get that same vibe from her. I think she hates him, but I think Kim is very good at and used to hating people. So like it's just her natural look.
Yeah,
for Barry, this is something new.
Yes, but just Kim, like, I'm like Kim, you're so ick, like. The Ken and Barbie comment.
If they're Ken and Barbie, what the hell are we? I mean, come on.
The posturing, if who's gonna fight over her wearing shorts to the point where your outfits are so noticeable that Ethan, who doesn't notice anything, notices your outfit.
Listen, I said this on our podcast. I am built like Kim Plath. This is not a weight thing. I am almost the same identical body shape of Kim Plath. It's just not a flattering cut for her because when you carry weight around your middle, like I do, like any skirt or short is going to be 2 inches higher than it should be. And also she's like 50 years old.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's just not age appropriate.
Right.
Like it's not flattering. It's not. There's a way if you want to not wear long skirts or whatever pants, like definitely do it. Wear a short skirt, but let's go shopping.
You're making your kids feel uncomfortable. Like don't do it around your kids. You want to wear that out to the local bar with Ken at night, go ahead. But like you're wearing it in a house with your kids and your ex-husband. Like it's just weird.
I cannot believe that Ken is a engaging conversationalist.
I can't understand what he's saying.
What is going on there? It doesn't seem like if we look at this objectively, Kim had a husband who was gainfully, I don't know what is Ken a pilot or is he a pilot instructor or something?
I think he was Isaac's pilot instructor, but I think he is a pilot.
Okay. Does he
He's a racist and a pilot, I think.
Yeah, I've heard his social
part-time
media
racist.
like real bad. Yeah. But like, so Barry is like gainfully employed. They have properties, they have all this stuff. You don't even have to raise your kids. You have
But he's Barry, Sarah. But he's Barry.
He's still Barry. That's true. But then now you're like now you're living on a boat, and now you're like dating a guy who needs subtitles. Like
and had to take his social media down because it was so problematic.
Well, at least he did. At least he wasn't like, nah, I'm going to double down on it or something.
I know. I'm thinking production made him take it down, but I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe they said to Kim, like, we're not platforming this guy. Get him, get this down.
Like if you want him on the show, he needs to like disappear off of Facebook.
But Reddit never forgets. So just Google it, guys, and go to Reddit. You'll see what we're talking about.
I was just talking about that on our Monday Night Lives with like the amount of, because again, hi Ace and Caitlin. Ace points out all the time, like the B-roll footage that's like 3 years old that we're seeing. Yeah. We're seeing Janelle's dogs that I think one of them's dead. Like Cody's changing a car battery at Christine's Flagstaff home. Like this is not like current footage. And I say all the time, like, do they think we're dumb? Because people will Reddit so fast and like suss out like that's how people confirmed like this event that the Browns went to was Logan's wedding, because they were like, oh, Janelle's in the dress she wore to Logan's wedding. And
I'm stunned that, and I've been looking, I'm stunned no one has revealed Mariah's boyfriend yet.
Yeah, because people went to town with Max and like and all of his wasn't he like problematic too?
No, it was probably, but it was Olivia's brother Nathan, Megs, who was real.
Yeah. Okay.
And Olivia has, I think, like separated herself from him.
Yeah, and it's sad because it's like Olivia. I really felt for. There were times where I really felt for Olivia when she is talking to Brendan and her sister. And she's saying like, you know, there's, or I think it was her sister that was like, yeah, there's 10 of us, but you're probably only ever going to meet Lydia.
It's really sad when you grow up in a family where like people just hate other people. And it's like, what do you do with that? Like, how do you curl up to your mom or dad or have relationships with your siblings when like they're actively hating other people in the world?
Yeah.
It's like so difficult. I don't know.
And it just does such a disservice to, you know, because my kids are like the most impressionable right now.
Oh, yeah.
And
how old are they?
5 and 16 months. So, and I am learning through my kid, like hate and things like that. That is something that is taught.
Yeah.
Like that comes like a kid regurgitating that doesn't just feel those feelings. They learned that somewhere.
Yeah.
So what are we doing where a child is saying that they hate someone or something?
I know.
Because they don't know them.
We're looking at you, Ariana, saying you hate Christine.
Yeah. Like I know exactly.
Okay.
And then for to say, oh, that shows loyalty.
Right. Yeah.
You have totally lost.
And what is a little kid gonna respond to? Right? They're gonna respond to, I made daddy proud because I was loyal and he liked that. So that's the dopamine hit. So that's what I'm gonna keep doing.
And something I always tell my daughter is you don't have to be friends with everyone. I would love you to. You should try it out. Like,
sure.
You know, people have lots of things to offer, but you don't have to be friends with everyone, but you have to be friendly.
Yes.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You don't be the dark spot on someone's day ever.
And that's what Olivia did for this family, right? As she started to wake up and realize what was happening, she was opening their minds too. And they were remember that Barry and Kim thought California was the devil and they didn't want to let Mariah go there because she might like see a gay person and God only knows what would happen then. So like we go flash forward, Micah's living there.
They did go to the gayest place on earth.
Right. Yes. And they were terrified.
The Bay Area is so beautiful.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
San Francisco.
Yeah.
But it is quite a different culture
Yes.
than the rest of California.
And they were so afraid to let her go there.
Yeah.
And flash forward, and like Micah's living his best life out there. You know what I
now
mean?
it's
And
so
like,
cool. And now it's like, I'm gonna come see you play in a bar, Mariah. And it's like,
yeah. And wear my shortest skirt.
I'm so bitter on behalf of all these, especially Lydia. I think I'm the most bitter on behalf of Lydia because it's like Lydia bought into all this hook, line, and sinker. We witnessed Lydia having panic attacks and seeking refuge in her prayer closet. All of that, again, that is fear instilled in you by your parents. You learn that. And so if I'm Lydia, I am so resentful.
Yeah, me too. And these kids, like, again, we're just not acknowledging it. Like, oh, it's a failed experiment. No big deal. Like, you know, everything's fine. And the trauma that they have endured over this.
Yeah. And if I'm the little girls, I should say the littler girls, because they're like teenagers now, but okay, yeah, I'm glad I get to go to like Taekwondo now, but like now I'm living on a boat, and now
like their family had to fall apart for them to get any kind of.
Remember when they met up and to do like the exchange, and like weren't the girls talking about like, oh, they're probably fighting over like who's gonna have to take us?
Yeah,
and that probably is what they were fighting.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not a good situation. Kim has totally checked out on those 3 little girls. Yeah, totally checked out. Done. Yeah. Which might be better for them, Sarah.
It honestly might be. Get Kim out of the equation, get them in public school. Because then they might be able to salvage at least an education.
Yeah. That to me, and I've said this before, is the biggest crime that Kim has committed against these children. She has educationally hobbled them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because and I think that it's very intentional too. I don't think it was just because she was lazy. I think it's when that is a huge way to cripple your children and keep them dependent on you.
Yep.
By denying them an education.
Yeah. Because remember, Mariah begged to go to college. She wanted to go. Nope.
It's always funny to me because the way I grew up, it was like, you're going to college. And I'm totally on board with you. I think college is great if it's for you. If you want to go to trade school. I want my kids to find what they're passionate about and make that a thing, make that a profession. It doesn't have to be something that makes you rich. Just whatever you're passionate about, just do that. If what you're passionate about doesn't necessitate a college degree, I'm not going to harp on you about going to college. But if a child is sick, it was always so mind-boggling to me to watch these kids, and we saw it with the Duggars, we saw it with especially with the Plaths, we even saw it with the Browns, like them almost discouraging their kids from going to college. Like the Browns
were different. The Browns, I always say, like, I was stunned that those kids, like, remember when Leon was like college age, they were like, you're going to school. That's it. And Logan went and Hunter went, and they all are very well educated. I think partly because they probably were educated with a lot of grants because they didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
The Platts, I'm thinking, may have had to pay for it. And that might be the difference here. I don't know. But it's a real disservice. And I'm a first generation college student. And let me tell you something. By just the simple act of putting my sister and I through school, like my parents have broken a cycle of generational poverty, have begun to break the cycle. Do you know what I mean? So like that is the way that we uplift women, especially in this country.
Yeah.
And to not, I mean, what is Mariah going to do? What is she going to do?
I know. And now
Bartend? I mean,
she's gonna
that's
I was gonna say bartender because what else is she
which
gonna do
is
but, like,
fine, but like,
go?
is she gonna be bartending when she's 70? You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Eventually you're gonna physically not be able to
mhm.
do that anymore. Like bartenders can make great money.
Great money, and it's a young person's game, let me
But
tell you.
exactly. It's a
Yeah.
young person's
Yep.
game. And that's
Yep.
what you have to think about. And we're as young folk often are, we're short-sighted about that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
think about something about what is this going to look like when you want to retire?
Right. Like, do I have a 401k? Which nobody does. But
No.
like, am I paying into Social Security? Do you know what I mean? And will that be
Right.
there? We don't know. But you
Yeah.
know.
Do you get it? I mean, it's sad that this is the way this country is structured, but like, because I know people that stay in jobs that they hate simply
Mhm.
because they have health insurance.
I
But
know.
like, what's the benefit package? I
But
don't know.
and the mind-blowing thing is Kim and Barry are well educated. So we're going
Exactly. Kim
backwards.
went to college.
Yeah.
Kim had that experience. I'll never forget. Barry is sitting there telling us in season 1, episode 1, how his kids have never had sugar. They never had a soda, but he used to be addicted to Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
It's so
That
hypocritical.
explains a lot. It really does.
I know. It's like, of all the drinks, Mountain Dew. Seriously?
They're like, Kim's like, I want to start a cycle of generational poverty. So I'm going to discourage education all down the board.
And it's like, she had all these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like noped right out of raising them. Like,
Yes.
it's so
Yeah.
interesting to me because she didn't have because they didn't have birth certificates. She had home births for all her kids, right?
Yes.
So I'm assuming no like pain relief or anything. So she went through like a arduous laboring process.
I'm very curious as to what kind of mother she was before Joshua's accident. I'm very curious about that because we know that she was in bed for a year.
Yeah.
We know that she, suffered a great period of depression and doesn't sound like she got very like any help, outside help. So
no,
like,
not if Barry's gonna think he can pray it away or something.
Right. So what was that? Was she better maybe before that? Did that I don't know. Is that when Lydia's parentification became a thing? I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if
or
Lydia
Hosanna's
had to step in because Kim just was unable to, or something, to make sure that the kids were fed, the dishes were done, things like that.
So to come back to your original question, then possible storylines for season 7 could be Ethan maybe finding a new love, Micah breaking out of his hostage situation, going back to California and becoming a model, Mariah going to college. How nice would that be? Like maybe ditching this guy, going to college, finding herself, and then Kim getting another DUI and having to go to jail.
And then having, okay, Kim, you can pay a fine and be on probation, but in order to avoid jail, you have to talk about this on the show. That's your stipulation.
And then Barry, we don't know what Barry's doing. Barry finds himself like a 19-year-old girl that looks exactly like Lydia.
Right. Oh, I could so see that.
And then she goes missing, but allegedly.
Okay. Yeah, like she brought him the wrong kombucha and he just snapped one day.
He just snapped. He never got that tie-dye Beanie Baby.
Yeah. He had to settle for like a one with the tag ripped off. I remember that.
Yes, that was the thing. Yeah.
Tag protector on them. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give season 6?
So there were real strong points. One of them being Olivia and Mariah's conversation. I was riveted by that.
Yes, you're right.
Yes. The stuff with Ethan and Olivia, riveting. Again, the stuff with Barry and Kim, very, very, very good. But I would only give it like maybe a 6 or 7. Like it's kind of limping along.
Yeah, I was reading like in my Facebook group and stuff, everyone's ragging on episode 3 of season 19 for Sister Wives. And I'm
I
like,
have to get into your Facebook group. I didn't realize you had one.
yeah, do it.
Okay,
And
I have to get in there.
I need to do, you have one too, right?
Yeah, Backdoor Friends.
Nice.
Ugh. Everyone's ragging on season 19, episode 3
that it was like boring filler. You know, Ace was like there.
I will watch it. I will watch I watch it like this.
The bar is in the gutter for me.
Yeah.
I am so easily entertained. I would give Plathville, I'm gonna give it a 7, season 6. But I do agree. I listen to several podcasts that cover Plathville. You guys, obviously Ace and Caitlin, and then Reality Cray Cray.
Mm-hmm.
They cover Plathville. Yep. They kind of like do high level overview.
Kim and Kyle. Yeah.
Yeah. And Kyle's like, this show is over.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Reality Gaze do a good job covering it too. Jake and Matt.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Matt
they cover it. Yeah. Yeah, everybody's kind of in the same boat. Like we needed this season to see it all work out, but I'm not here for a Kim Plath wedding. I'm not here for that. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see we're going
to be seeing next. I was like, bite your tongue.
No. And she's such an idiot that she's going to marry the first guy she banged after separating from Barry.
Okay, let's wrap up though on this whole thing. Like Olivia, this whole season is like, I'm gonna go on dates. Like if I like him, cool. Like if not, cool. Then she meets Brandon, and it's like, I love you.
Yep, going right into it.
Like, and now
Ethan will do it too. Ethan will do it too.
And now she's moving to Washington, D.C. She has said, like, the problem with Ethan was we never dated. We just got married and then blah, blah, blah. We didn't really know each other. And now she's doing the same thing with Brendan.
I just hope she doesn't marry him. If you want to live with them, fine. But
are they... I haven't been like super up and up on anyone's social media. Are they still together?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good for them. I hope he gets a new haircut.
Yeah, he is punching well above his weight. I think we can all agree.
But he has potential. He just
he does.
Styled and taken to supercuts or something.
And he seems like a really sweet guy.
Yeah, really minor tweaks, and he would be a snack.
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
Really minor tweaks. I agree. He's got the raw material.
Yes. He's got the ore to be shaped. Yes. Yep.
Amy, tell everyone where they can find you.
Well, they can find me at Little Miss Recap. We're covering all this crap all the time.
And you do true crime. You do you were are you still doing My So-Called Life? You do like
we're doing My So-Called Life on Patreon. Yeah. We do like
TV shows.
We do a lot of true crime on our Patreon. So we're doing like Gypsy Rose and stuff like that, which I'm fascinated with.
I love. I cannot wait for this baby. This alleged baby to be born. I'm still not 100% convinced she's actually pregnant, but so I'll believe it when I see the baby.
Yeah. We do Love is Blind. So that's dropping. Yeah. And we're doing a new show on Saturdays, every other Saturday, where we're just talking about like what's going on in reality world, that kind of thing. So that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So I will link all of your socials and I will link to your podcast. So you guys definitely check out Little Miss Recap. You do collabs with Ace and Caitlin over on the Shit Talk.
Yeah, once a month we do Murder Club.
Yes. And then you also do with Mary Payne on Pink Shade. You also do you do like regular
I'm on her paid feed, which is called Hey Bunky, every Friday.
Okay. All right. So there are so many ways.
We do 90 day. Yeah. For almost forgot about like the biggest show we do. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much,
Sarah. I will come on here and talk shit about Mama Plath, Cody Brown anytime.
Yes.
Anytime.
Love it.